Thank you very much, my dear, and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. After our first week of the LEC, we're back, and we had all our games already. That means we have a lot to talk about. I'm Sjokz, joined by Yamatocannon and Mikyx. Congratulations.
Thank you.
2-0. So can you give yourself like a report card for the team for the first weekend, and why? Out of 10, let's say.
Okay, out of 10, I'm gonna say like 6. 5.5. I think that's like.
What's the homework?
Me not inting. I was really running it this week, but it's like, I guess it's kind of a classic now. Every spring start, I just run it. But yeah, I mean, our early game needs some work, especially yesterday. We were like really losing hard. Today was a little bit better, but we still entered bot. So yeah.
About the early game this afternoon, we get up late, we're gamers. On ReadyCheck, VODs and Yamato were talking about the fact that we look at G2 and we don't look at like just a week's performance, but we look at the past as well. And if there's things that were issues in the past, if they're still persisting. For instance, citing, well, World Final, troubles in early game, getting a bit run over. But do you think that's fair, or should we also reset like you guys reset for this year?
I mean, it's kind of fair, but I think in the final it was mostly due to our level 1s. That's why we also tried some level 1s today. We like invaded and stuff. Usually we were just like chilling level 1, you know, and if any team does something, then we get surprised, like, oh, they're doing something, and then they get like some kind of a head start. But now we're just kind of flipping it, you know, maybe we just fight level 1 and then see what happens. Should we try it out? Because in LPL, whenever there's always level 1 fights, or like the teams always do something level 1. So I think that's the advantage that they had coming to the final as well. But yeah, also just in general, like early games, like even after level 1, they're really good at snowballing it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are not bad at snowballing. It's just that sometimes you don't seem to. Like yesterday, it took a while to get the action done versus Madlines, and then they ran over you. Was that a surprise?
Yeah. I was like thinking like, oh.
That's
well,
okay.
We were like, so Fnatic last year was in World Finals, and then they had a poor start to the spring. So we're like, oh, is it the same happening to us? But yeah, then I press tab and I see my Senna has 0 deaths and he has 2 items and like 60 souls. So I was like, hey, it's over.
It's over.
It's really not balanced.
And it was 2-0. Let's talk a little bit about this game versus SK Gaming. Yeah, I think it didn't seem like you were in trouble, but us as a broadcast team, we're trying to look at how clean the victories are. And I think that's a bit unfair because it's the first week. Yamato, what would you say?
Honestly, like, you know, the first game you guys played and also this one, there was some like slip-ups. But then I remembered, you know, last split, like even playing against you guys, like we were ahead. Like I remember like Cabo was, Pyke Yumi, we were super far ahead. And then like we just lost in 20 minutes. So it's like being ahead against G2 is kind of meaningless sometimes, you know? That's what's the frustrating part about facing them. Because I think you guys identify better than anyone what you guys need to do in order to win. Similar like I think yesterday was the perfect example of it. I think executing team fights is super freaking difficult. And if there was any other team playing your team comp, I think they wouldn't succeed. Like when you had the flank, you remember at the Drake, that was beautiful. Like what was going on in terms of communication in that moment? How do you set this up?
Well, usually we just like, well, whoever can flank usually looks for a flank. And usually like if we have a champ like Kiana, or this game we had like Lee Sin that wants to insect someone, or even Rakan, usually the person that has the tools needs to look for the flank or whatever the win condition is to win the team fight. I think yesterday's game was the one that it was before Infernal Drake.
Yeah, it's like
so
you
we're setting
the
that
Arnold.
Yeah, actually, that was really funny. But I liked that yesterday when my Kiana, like, do you remember when he flashed over the wall and waited 1 second? He was just standing still and then he pressed ult.
Yeah. That was like an anime moment.
That was some crazy team fighting skills, yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm not sure. We just like call targets, I guess. I was playing Nautilus, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna press R on Aphelios and hopefully you guys kill him, you know. And I just walk up to him and like that. So
very nice.
There we go. Yeah, your voice comms, if we heard them on broadcast like last year, it was like there wasn't a lot of setup. You just all kind of instantaneously think the same thing, and that's how it happens. So let's see if that's the same this year. The key player of the game was Sjokz with 46% of the votes. You were in there as well. I think it was Perks, Sjokz, Mikyx. So do you think you were robbed again?
No.
No? Because you were inting it?
Yeah, I was kind of running it. I mean, Sjokz was playing pretty well.
Everyone was inting it a little bit, but like, there's like controlled inting, and then there's, oh my god, we're going to lose the game.
That's true. But Perks did go deathless, so maybe we should have gone to him, because deathless games happen very rarely in our team. Like yesterday was capped, it was like 1 in a million, and then there was Perks. So yeah, maybe next time it's me, and then usually whoever is deathless should probably get the MVP.
Should get it, okay. Speaking about caps, our topic kind of for PGL is how you carry caps, because we needed a headline, you know. But it is so interesting. So we have a bunch of questions prepared. First off, we asked Grabs already, but do you kind of just have to sit there and always take it when these things happen? Because last year, you know, you got Perks in the bottom lane, and then now it was caps. How much are you consulted in this whole thing?
Oh, I'm all up for it. Like I'm really, I'm enjoying this, you know, because every time I play with someone else, they always have like new stuff to bring, so I can also learn from them. And with Perks and Caps, they're also a difference. They're mid laner, so they can play more champions. And Caps especially, he plays everything. He played some Wukong mid, some Kayn mid, you know. So we're trying a lot of stuff in solo queue that we're about to bring out soon TM. But right now we're just like playing some AD carries, just because, well, Senna players are pretty OP, and then, yeah, we didn't really practice that much of the other stuff.
Keeping it simple.
So yeah.
I need to ask Miky, you've played with AD carries and you played with mid laners that turn into AD carries. What is like the biggest underlying difference?
Champion pool.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest one.
How about like TPs, the way they use TPs, maybe corrupting potions,
Approach
something like
like
this?
lane
Not really.
focus
I
versus
think it's a champion pool.
Okay.
So are the mids as focused that come to your lane about the last hit, or like, are the minions and the lane, or are they more focused on where they can go after that or during?
Honestly, like just laning wise, I didn't see that much of a difference playing with ADs or mid laners. Like, 'cause usually we just play AD carries anyway, and we're just kind of last hitting. And then if we see like opportunities, then we go for them. I guess mid laners tend to look for more opportunities themselves than AD carry mains. For example, when you play Xayah, you can look for a route with your feathers. You can like set something up. So I think, yeah, mid laners tend to look for more opportunities.
Yeah. Like something that I've noticed is usually with mid laners, like especially with Perks, I think he understood how to farm side lane better and how to take golems over and over, and how he managed the wave. And also what I loved about Perks when he was playing ADC was how he used TP. Because I think when TP became the meta down in bottom lane, I think a lot of AD carriers were like, okay, I base now and TP back, and there was nothing else to it. And I saw Perks using it to get advantage as you would do in mid or in top, which you kind of are forced to do.
Yeah.
In terms of wave management, I just imagine mid laners just being better at it.
That's true, yeah. And also Patrick did the TP top today, which was, and then we were joking that it's Umayan TP. It's a Umayan TP.
Umayan TP, it's hilarious. Do you think it's a testament to kind of your own strength as a support that you can slot these different players in, and like, because it's a very hard thing, the synergy to build up with your marksman or with your AD carry in the bot lane. It's not just for everybody to just slot different people into that role.
I think it's honestly not that difficult, because all the players that I play are very good, like individually, so I don't really have much work to do. Usually we just like discuss how matchup should go, or I mean, I don't think I'm like teaching them like some crazy bot lane stuff, you know. It's just like we just play the lane and then we go over the replay and say, yeah, we could do this differently, we could do that differently. But yeah, usually it's more like a mutual kind of talk, I guess. I'm not like teaching anyone anything, so yeah.
I see. Do you think that, would you think that you lose some of your kind of improvement, because like you worked so hard on the perk synergy in the bot lane and kind of that, and we know that duos who play together for a long time, they can't just keep growing and hit that ceiling. Do you think there's a risk that maybe you cut that short to kind of try this new thing, and if so, how are you planning to remedy that?
I don't think there's like any danger to it. I mean, as me and Caps are both very aggressive players, there's danger that we will int like we did for the past 2 days. We kind of ran it. But I think it's really fun to just like have something to work on and keep learning something. And then just discuss a lot of different like strategies or how we want to play lane or just like matchups, and yeah, pretty much.
Cool. At this point in your career where you've played for like such a long time and is always at a very high level, or not a long time, let's say, you have a lot of years still to go, of course, and you play at a high level. In terms of mechanics, do you still do specific exercises or like practice tool to test your mechanics specifically?
No, I just play solo queue.
Completely, it's just so, or is
Where's
that
the bard,
enough?
man?
Yeah,
Where's the bard?
I was practicing in solo queue, and if someone blind speak Braum today, I was about to
I've
take it.
seen it, yeah.
But yeah, they didn't blind me.
There's some wacky stuff in your solo queue.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of wacky stuff.
Yeah, there's everything. But on stage, you kind of have to do what the team needs anyway.
Yeah, on stage I'm just Nautilus slow on a main.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Rakan, but yeah.
Now there's more people in the data, I heard, in the coaching crew. So maybe someone sticks up for you and is like, Miky's played all these things.
The problem is whenever like we want to bring up something, for example, Bart, my team will just say, yeah, but Nautilus Leona are both open, so we just go for Nautilus Leona.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure. But yesterday, I could have probably played Bard, but Nautilus was open. So
how about today? Did your team tell you to pick Brom, or was it Rakan 100%? Because it was like MF, Ornn, Jarvan.
No, we were planning to play Zara.
Okay. Because Brom looked juicy, and I was like, I imagined your voice in my head. No. Rakan is way more fun than a Brom.
It is more fun as well.
Are you jealous at the marksmen that they get all these cool champions, like Senna came out and Felius come out, and you're like, come on.
I was really hyped for Senna because she was supposed to be a support, but how is like ADK role is so imbalanced, like it's crazy. They just steal every champion.
Upset said it was in a good place. Do you think ADC is a bit overpowered, or?
Just the two champions, just Senna, Felius.
That.
Yeah, but overall, I think
nothing's
it's fine.
stopping you from taking Senna and support though.
It's horrible.
Or your team stopping you.
I mean,
and then it's horrible stopping you.
They are stopping me from picking Senna support, because then it's just a free lose.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, we get to see some of your wacky stuff. Maybe next week, because then Caps will be tested against the Limit, against Upset and Origen in our match of the week.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Origen also coming off a 2-0 week. They look quite strong. Yamato, how do you think these two are going to match up, and how do you think G2 is going to match up versus Origen on fire?
Honestly, I get the feeling that with Origen, even though their mid game has been relatively slow, I am worried that if they get a lead against you guys, that they will not throw it away.
Why are you worried?
Well,
for us.
It's my boy Miky, it's my boy Miky. No, but I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think if you guys clean up your early game, maybe you can get away with something, but they've been very accurate in identifying how to impact the early game. Like today with the LeBlanc and just making sure, looking at enemy team, they have Renekton, they have Ryze. If we win split, we're going to just win the game. LeBlanc getting ahead, and then boom. I thought that was really nice. You guys in mid to late game, really nice. But with deficits, I'm worried for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it could be rough. They're a pretty good team, as far as I've watched. But Kevs does say that Upset has a mental disadvantage going up against him. He always ints against him, like when he played bot lane. I still remember one time I was playing duo with Upset, we played against Caps, and Caps was really smurfing on us. So I think Upset does have like a mental disadvantage.
Okay. He has a mental disadvantage versus G2 or versus Caps?
Versus Caps bot lane. Caps bot lane. It's unwinnable for them.
I mean, in general, it was the same with kind of perks. Like, if you are a lifelong 80 carry, and then you go up against these guys who just come and like step into the bot lane and just smack you around. There's nothing worse for your mental edge.
It's true.
Yeah. You're looking very intently at Caps' photo.
Yeah. That's
a cool watch as well.
Honestly, it's just, I feel like the timing for the swap is perfect. That's how I look at Caps. The whole champion pool on bottom is different. And today when you guys looked in Zaya, I was like, is this the moment? He's going back into the mid lane, and I was like, no, okay. Nope. They're saving it.
We're saving it,
yeah.
For sure.
What do you think of Destiny?
I think he was playing pretty well, like on stage. From when I played against him in solo queue and scrims, he was like fine, but on stage he was actually playing really well. So I'm looking forward to next week. And yeah, pretty good for OPL import.
Yeah, I mean, first of its kind. There's going to be so many more. Get ready. Maybe not, who knows. Who do you see as competitors for this season? Is Origen, I guess they're probably part of it, but who would you see as like your biggest competitors?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the top 4 teams would probably be Fnatic, Rogue, and OG. So, yeah, I guess those 3 teams.
I like that you're also saying Rogue, because our analysts have been saying it and we've heard it on social as well. What do you think makes Rogue a top 4 candidate?
I think they just play really well as a team. Like, from when we scrim them, they move very well around the map, and they also just upgraded AD carry. I think Hans is really good. So now their laning phase is also strong compared to last year. So it's for sure hard to play against.
See what you did there? When it comes to how you approach the year, last year it was so busy for G2 because you kept winning, so you also had to go to MSI, win that, do press conferences. But in general, it was like super busy and you didn't really get a break. Has that changed your outlook as to this year? Are there more breaks planned in? Is there a difference in focus?
Yeah, I think we might just take like more breaks like in between the weeks, because before we did like a break and then we just played like for like a whole 2 months or something like that. But we're probably just gonna have like breaks in between those 2 months, I guess.
Okay. makes sense. Yamato, what would you recommend for G2?
Honestly, I just want you guys to, take it slow in spring and then make sure that you're set up in a way that when you come into summer that you don't need to take a break. Because MSI, honestly, it's cool and all, but if you want to win the World Championship, I don't think you can slow down in summer. And I think the sloppiness and the lack of discipline definitely showed at Worlds, because I think you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, is I think you guys peaked during, the playoffs and during the MSI over in spring, because you guys came in, so hard in the paint because you had so much to prove. Like, you came off of Misfits. That was kind of a disaster, Caps from Fnatic coming into mid lane, and then Perks moving to AD carry. There was so much to prove, and I think you guys, instantly when you guys beat Origen, I was like, these guys are going to win MSI. Easy. Even though it was stump.
A solid prediction.
Solid prediction. And then summer, I think you guys took it slow, yeah?
Yeah, it was a bit more relaxed, let's say. We were like, so after we got from MSI, we were expecting to like lose a few games. Because usually teams that come from MSI just like, because they're a patch behind, right? So they usually lose a few games, but we just kept winning. So we're like, okay, I guess we're just chilling throughout the summer. But honestly, there just wasn't enough of good teams to punish us. Like Fnatic was really close and they were good. But yeah, only after we played the Griffin, we kind of realized how bad, or actually even screaming against the Asian teams were like, yeah, a bit rough.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't make that decision now and it's like a team-wide thing, but it was the year that everyone didn't go anywhere else to bootcamp, right? You guys didn't go to China, you didn't go to Korea to bootcamp. If it was up to you, what would you prefer?
I'm not sure. I would probably prefer to play Korean solo queue, but then again, we would have to go back and forth, so maybe jet lag would be annoying.
Worlds is in China, so...
Yeah, I mean, for this year, yeah. But like for last year, in hindsight, it would be better to go to like somewhere else to bootcamp, but it made sense to stay in Europe. But yeah, for this year, for sure, we're probably going to go to China or something.
Makes sense. Yamato, shine your light on the first week of the LEC, make some bold statements.
Bold statements? Origen looks like the best team. I'm sorry, Mickey.
Holy.
That's not that crazy.
That's not that crazy. Well, I'm trying to find crazy, but honestly, it's like the top 4 teams.
Well, you said top 4, so an early 2 others in the,
Yeah, it's like top 4 was predicted, and it seems like, everything is falling where it's supposed to fall. I had higher hopes for Schalke, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought they would start out, in a good way, because they would have like a very basic and simple way of playing the game, like through bot, ganking bot, and then just try and kind of snowball. But that didn't happen.
Are you worried for them?
Honestly,
with that team configuration?
Super worried.
Why?
Because I thought this was the type of team start good, and then everyone figures them out. Ban this champion, and then it's over. But in terms of their draft and in terms of the champion pool, I feel like already they have some weaknesses. No Aphelios, no Senna. What's going on there with Forgiven? Top lane, the Renekton was picked today. I think no one in Europe should be allowed to pick Renekton, honestly. I think Renekton is for LPL and maybe some Korean top laners, but in Europe, it just doesn't work. It just, you need to snowball. You need to snowball, and if you don't snowball, it's going to be useless. Like
also, Spear Trojan got removed, so this champ is a lot worse than it used to be. Because before, when you got Spear Trojan, you were actually strong for like a long period of time. But now it's just like, yeah, you really need to really hard snowball.
For sure. Like LPL win ratio is still pretty good. I think it was like 11-4 or something. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe Renekton's okay, but in Europe, no. Pick Ornn, yes. Aatrox,
Meta-wise, Mickey, things have been going pretty slow. There's, of course, a lot of reasons in the patches for that, but also perhaps teams taking it a bit careful because it's the first weeks. How do you see the meta evolving in the next couple of weeks?
I think it's gonna probably stay pretty similar. I mean, I guess crit is getting nerfed on the next patch, so maybe, and Lulu got buffed, so when we see some Lulu Kog'Maw. Or some non-crit AD carries, because crit got a little bit nerfed. And Rasmus is saying that crit champs are unplayable now, so he has to like play other stuff, maybe some Vayne, maybe some something crazy.
BT Draven.
Spilling the beans here.
But yeah, what else is there? I guess Senna is probably still OP. Unfortunately, Nautilus got nerfed, but it's still OP. So probably gonna stay pretty similar.
Cool. We'll see. We hope that the game pace picks up, but it was the case already today in your game, and the game before that did go a bit faster. We'll see. But next Friday, the LEC returns with 5 more games, starting with Origen versus Rogue. Well, we're talking so much about the match of the week, Origen versus G2, but what if Rogue does it? They can, Yamato.
Honestly, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. The main strength Origen had coming into this week, I feel like they had a very good grasp of draft. They picked Senna Nautilus. That's really, really nice. What is happening over there?
It sounds like unicorns,
Unicorns
but
of
that's
love.
impossible.
Are we in Russia? What's happening?
That's impossible. Sorry to cut off your point.
Origin. They picked Zyrakan. Love it. I think they inspired you guys, but you don't need to comment.
This is okay. No, but he keeps going on about this. He's like, well, Zyrakan is always good, and teams always forget about it. And now they picked this. Like,
it gets nerfed.
It's not rocket science. Yeah, it is always good. But I love how like hung up you are, and it's like, oh, they picked Zyrakan.
Because I've been there so many times. I have bot lanes like, yeah, Leona counters it. We can just pick Leona, pick Ezreal.
That's a good meme.
And it's like, eventually you just reach playoffs and you realize we've been banning Xayah the whole season because there's Fnatic and then there's G2. They're just so good at it. And then you're left there with your pants down and it just blows, you know? So now I think I like that teams are playing Zyrakan early and teaching people the ways.
On that note and that mental image, we're going to say bye-bye for the first week of the LEC. Thank you so much, Mickey. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Yamato. Great first week on the broadcast. And if you missed any of the action, be sure to tune into our rebroadcast starting right after the opening day of the LCS. We're going to be back Friday with more action on the Rift. See you then.
We're waving? Okay.
You can.
I'm waving.
Good damage, that's a kill, it's a humanoid. Seiken manages to find his target. The Glacial Fissure splits up the Mad Lions team as Kaiser goes in and flies back out. Causey steps forward with a double up and manages to find another before he's taken down himself. You've stepped into trouble, mate. Not going to be able to take shot. The teleport from Patrick Sophelios jumps into the fray at level 4. All of a sudden, Patrick stepping forward. He needs to be huge this fight. The Baron is still alive. Mickey's taking down Vander. This has gone wrong for Rogue. The Baron is secured by Rogue. Fight. Now Larson manages to transfuse and stay alive.
Destiny's gonna land that hook. There's no way they can win this fight to pinch, but maybe Forgiven, maybe enough damage, but Nuke Duck on the side is just gonna delete Forgiven in an instant. Railgun down, just like that. Upset. Gonna grab another kill, and one can get nothing done. Senna, he knows it's a bad trade for Dan. Now Denix on the way in. Blippo gonna take a lot of pressure here. They're still trying to finish this one off. Blippo's just gonna cut through the entire team. Goodbye to Dan. The rest of the team has to turn tail and run. Power is gonna break. Fnatic are pushing in. But this should just be oh my lord! An engage coming in from Aphelios. You fall behind against the champion, you lose the game. It's that simple because Blippo is dunking down. All right, now the fight is kicking off. That's gonna be a stun. Perks has now been locked at the fall because there too. Perks has to be careful. But now the Aatrox right into the back line. Crouch on Genix just booed to be taken out. Oh my god, that was a meat grinder. They close out with a 2-0 week.